What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the not the 515 Sports Pod. We did that last night live. The Hardwood Convos podcast here on the 515 Podcast Network. I'm Brock Bierman alongside, as always, the boys, Dawson Livingston and Hunter Rose. We're going to talk a little bit NBA hoops here for the next, 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know if there's much to really talk about to get to an hour episode, but, sometimes we get into those weird rambling conversations that have nothing to do with the actual NBA right now. So we'll see how this episode can go. But boys, how we doing? Have you been paying attention to much of the NBA, knowing that March Madness has been going on the last week, or have you also been able to catch some NBA hoops over the past 2 weeks?
I don't want to talk about the NBA. I don't.
It's March Madness time. It's not NBA time.
No,
NBA
it's not even that.
Time in a month,
it's Brewers baseball time. I'm blocked out.
Opening day. You know it's bad when Hunter's already talking baseball.
It's bad. It's so bad.
At least you have Jordan Love.
I can't do this. Yeah, Jordan Love with a bunch of wide receiver twos and McCole Hardman. Thank goodness.
Hey,
man.
We're about to watch
three-time Super Bowl champion McCole Hardman.
About to watch a rerun potentially in Minnesota, which I think Dawson and Brandon will probably talk about that in the Sports Nerds podcast. That I think, because we're recording this before they record that episode, I think we're going to actually have the Sports Nerds podcast go live in the morning. This is probably live Thursday afternoon. So if you haven't seen the latest Sports Nerds podcast, make sure to check that out, as well as the 515 Sports Pod itself. Chase and I previewed some of the Sweet 16 matchups and gave our picks for the Final Four. But yeah, I guess, Hunter, do you want to talk about it now? Or do you even want to talk about it?
We should probably talk about it.
Because it is pretty much, it's, in my opinion, probably the biggest headline right now in the NBA, unless you guys have other opinions. But Damian Lillard is out indefinitely with a blood clot in his calf, which a lot of people are pointing towards a similar situation as Victor Wembanyama. The difference is it sounds like Milwaukee is a little more optimistic in terms of thinking that Damian Lillard's going to be back. Hunter, I don't know if you know anything of like what their current timetable is for his return, but for an injury that is keeping Victor Wembanyama out for the rest of the year, which could be a good thing for the Spurs in terms of the fact that they're probably going to be in better positions for a decent pick in the draft. But the Bucks, since winning their title in 21, it's been nothing but injuries and disappointments, really, because I have picked them the last couple years in terms of competing for a conference title, if not an NBA Finals appearance. As well as Giannis being an MVP candidate, which we can talk a little bit about the MVP candidates heading into the final stretch of the NBA. But Hunter, what are your thoughts on the news about Damian Lillard being out?
Yeah, man. Bucks have not had a healthy playoff series, a fully healthy playoff series since the 2021 NBA Finals. That is the last time. And even then, it's like, oh, Dante was out. I'm talking like best three players specifically being fully healthy has not happened since 2021. I cannot stop thinking about that fact. And it's just brutal, man. It's just brutal. I think the thing that leaves the Bucks optimistic is that like the blood clot was stabilized. So it's not like they caught it and they're like, oh, shoot, like we're still working on it. Like, no, it has been stabilized. There's still a lot of concerns going with it. If I'm being honest, I think he's just done. Especially considering the Bucks. Like, do I think the Bucks with Giannis could beat the Pacers in round one? Absolutely. Like, actually, absolutely. And then after that point, it's just a matter of, we have to get, then we would have to get Dame back. I don't think they're winning another series without him. Because then after that, you're probably either playing the Cavs or the Celtics, and you need a fully healthy team for those two teams. We traded Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma, and that devastated me because we had a Kyle Kuzma third option. Now, I'm relying on a Kyle Kuzma third option and Bobby Portis third option for my team to win a playoff series. And that is not okay with me at all. At all. This is devastating. This is absolutely devastating. I just can't do this. Season's over. There's no hope. There's no hope. I'm gonna keep having hope as a delusional fan. But yeah.
Sorry.
Bucks on-off numbers are also better when Kyle Kuzma's not on the floor, by the way. Which to be honest, like I'm not like a Kyle Kuzma hater, as some other people are. It's just like there's just moments where it's like, bro, you're playing for the Bucks. Like you're not playing for the Wizards. You can't just mess around. All right. You're not losing 70 games. All right. You're on a winning team now. You have to not just chuck something up because why not?
Dawson, what are your thoughts as a fan of the surefire first overall seed in the Eastern Conference?
It's devastating for Bucks fans and devastating for NBA fans, really, because, like Hunter said, we really haven't seen the Bucks at full strength in a playoff series in 4 years now, and I think they would have been a tough out for either the Cavs or the Celtics in round 2, assuming they would have beaten the Pacers, presumably. I think that's how the matchups would be, barring any changes in the season. But it sucks for the Bucks fans. I don't know too much about this injury. I just know it's a blood clot. With the Bucks being optimistic, are they thinking end of playoffs, like conference finals or semifinals, or what? Is there any choice?
I don't really know if they've ever given an actual timetable. That's why I asked Hunter, because he would know if anything.
Yeah, it's just kind of he's just kind of, honestly, it's just more of he's out indefinitely. The Bucks are more just optimistic that it's not going to be a huge thing in the future. It's not we have to completely for sure shut him down and all this stuff.
Right. But assuming, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Assuming Lillard's out the rest of the season, he's going to be 35 this summer. That's just another year that Lillard's playing basketball. He's still been a really productive player for the Bucks. He's averaging 25, 7, and 5. So he's still putting his numbers up, and he's still playing really well. But this team is just getting older and older and older. And I know Hunter talks about it a lot, but the fact that this team still trots out a lineup of Giannis and Brook Lopez, and Lopez is what, 38 at this point? 36.
Too friggin' old. That's how old he is.
Yeah, it sucks because they have some pieces that I really like on this team. Bobby Portis is coming back at the end of the regular season from his 25-game suspension. But Taurean Prince has played pretty solid this season. Gary Trent's played solid this season. Even Kuzma, I know Hunter was saying his on-off numbers are not great, but he's still been productive, even though it did come at the cost of trading Middleton away. It just sucks for Bucks fans out there.
I would like to point out that Damian Lillard is 34, will be 35 in July. Different situation, and I'll explain why here in a second. But Chris Bosh was 33 when he got his blood clot situation with Miami. The difference is that Chris Bosh's was a blood clot that travels to the lungs, which blocks a artery, which you probably don't want that. From the sounds of it, Damian's is not that bad. So even though he's older than Chris Bosh, when this blood clot was discovered, and everybody, I've seen at least a couple people compare it to that because of the age. It doesn't sound like it's something similar in ways of the same, in the way of severity of how this blood clot could go. Obviously, untreated, any blood clot could really lead to some issues. But if there is a way or something to be optimistic about, it's not as bad as Chris Bosh's.
Well said.
Of course, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know if I'm 100% right. Don't take anything what I say as legit. But yeah, other things going on in the NBA this week. This episode's going to probably be a little quicker than usual, like we mentioned earlier. We're just kind of hitting on some different things. Oklahoma City becomes the first team this season to hit 60 wins. 60-12 is their current record. 9 of the last 10 they have won on a current 7-game win streak and a point differential of plus 12.9. So basically 13 points. Man, they have been on one, and a lot of the reason is because of their star and MVP candidate, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, averaging around 32.8 points per game, 5.1 rebounds a game, 6.3 assists per game, and a block, as well as 1.7 steals per game. I don't remember what you guys said a couple weeks ago when you guys did your episode, but are they, in your mind, are they the odds-on favorite to win the NBA title this year?
It's tough to say anyone but Boston right now. And that's coming from a Cavs fan. Boston's just got so much experience over any of these top contenders that it's super tough to make an argument for a team like Oklahoma City or a team like Cleveland, or even, I don't even know. I know they're the 2 seed in the West, but even Houston's up there. But it's got to be Boston. I think if you took Cleveland and OKC versus the field to win the title, I think you would probably lean OKC and Cleveland. But man, it's hard to pick against Boston right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what's impressive is, I think a lot of West teams are underestimating them. And it's kind of when Dawson and I are kind of going through our pretenders and contenders stuff, is it's they've historically and statistically, they should be you should be scared to face this team, right?
But I feel like no one's really talking about them
exactly.
as a threat,
no,
which is weird.
They're not. You got heck, you even got Pat Bev on his own podcast. It's players in the West just aren't scared. And it's because, when you're in the conference that has LeBron James and, Steph Curry and Jokic, and for some reason people still bring up his name, but Kawhi and Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant, again, another name that for some reason still being brought up. It's and when you're the new kids on the block, especially, this is for both, obviously for OKC, but this even goes for Houston. Even as Dawson said, they're sitting at that 2 seed. It's they're the new kids on the block right now. It's when you get into playoff mode, it's a whole different ball game, right? This is where you really start, seeing your line. And I think the thing with them is, one advantage they have is that they are able to honestly go as deep as they can. At the same time, it's kind of well, who's actually going to play? Thankfully, if something's not working, they can make adjustments and do things like that. But it's at the same time, you're not going to go 9-10 players deep. You're going to be going your 7 to 8 man rotation, and that's that. And I still think they could. I originally had them within my finals. Even I think they can still do it. And especially as we've seen SGA almost take a whole nother leap again. It's man, he has the tools. I think a lot of it. This word likes to get thrown around a lot, but the old free throw merchant, are they going to be blowing the whistle like they usually are, even though he can still score at an insane clip compared to the rest of the NBA? Or is he going to get more punished a little bit, and people are going to be swallowing the whistle? So I think that's what it is, but I think this team can still compete. They're not a sleepover first overall seed.
They're not a Atlanta Hawks of 2015.
Yeah, they're not the Cavs of this year.
Wow. They are the odds-on favorite to win this year. They're plus 175 versus plus 185.
But yeah, like Dawson said too, it's just, even though they've looked more vulnerable this year, and that's why I'll be interested even to hear, Brock, your thoughts on the Celtics. I still think I'd have the Celtics as my favorite.
Dude, really the thing that scares me with the Celtics, and you know what, I kind of want you guys to guess what scares me the most about the Celtics, because it's the same thing that's been scaring me literally this entire run with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Can you guys guess what the thing that scares me the most about this Celtics team?
Will Jason Tatum have to do everything?
Joe Maz.
Those are fair ones. Honestly, it's if they can stay healthy.
My next one was going to be, is Kristaps healthy? That was going to be my next one.
And it wasn't even, it's not even if Kristaps is healthy. Jason Tatum just went down against Utah recently, And I mean, Xavier Tillman's out right now. Not that he's a huge contributor, but he's someone that they've used in the past for certain matchups. Kristaps has been in and out of the roster in the lineup due to injury. Al Horford's up there in age. It's like I'm just waiting for him to like have something. I mean, I actually am kind of curious who's played the most games this year. Peyton Pritchard has played the most, 71 games. By the way, he's only started one, which is actually kind of shocking with how many injuries the Celtics have dealt with, which shows how big of an asset he is just off the bench as a player. But Jason Tatum's played 66. Derek White's played 68. And then Luke Cornett and Sam Hauser round out the top 5 in most played games for the Celtics this year.
Wow.
Yeah. Luke Cornett, the best closeout for a 3-point shot that you'll ever see on defense in the NBA. Al Horford's only played 55. Not that 55 is not a lot, because we've compared to a lot of NBA All-Stars who have been kind of load managing over the years, that's actually a pretty good number. But Porzingis has only played 36. I'm kind of scared. Drew Holiday's been, I don't think he's injured right now, but it seems like he's had like little injuries here and there that have caused him to miss some action. That's the thing that scares me the most. Don't get me wrong. I do think the Celtics have the best roster still to win the title this year. And I do think that they realize this might be the last year and for a while, maybe, depending on how they handled contracts in the future of this organization, to win a title. So I'm still putting my money on Boston, but I'm not going to lie, I still wouldn't want to match up with Oklahoma City in the finals. I'd rather take literally probably any other Western Conference team. But that, of course, for that to happen, they would have to go through the Western Conference, which a lot of people say, or at least I've seen a lot of people say, I don't think Oklahoma City this year could probably go through the Western Conference, make the finals, which is still funny given that they're the only 60-win team in the league.
I actually have a question. So this is like a hypothetical here. Okay. So let's say SGA wins MVP this season, and let's say the Thunder go on and win the finals. Where does that put SGA in the Thunder history hierarchy?
Does the Sonics history come along with it?
Yeah. Yep.
I think he's right behind. Wins MVP.
Let's start with he wins MVP and the finals. To be honest, like I think if he wins MVP, I still think that definitely puts him in.
He'd be top 5
level. Exactly. But if he were to also win the finals,
that's why I'm trying to, because
where would he be?
Am I going to get flamed if I say he might be the greatest?
That's why I'm wondering. That's why it's an
Don't
argument.
get me wrong. Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, all-time greats for the Sonics. But they've never had someone win the finals and MVP.
Yep.
Because, who's the greatest Raptor of all time?
All right, I think people will just say Kawhi just because, even though
Kawhi
I don't
Vince,
feel
yeah.
Titles do have a bit, especially when you don't have a history of winning titles. Again, I think the Sonics have one championship in their history, but that's the Thunder don't care about that. So Thunder fans will say SGA is the greatest Thunder of all time. But because winning, end of the day, winning matters. I really do think winning should outweigh stats. To a certain extent, certain stats are unbelievable, and it should weigh over maybe certain situations or certain aspects of how we look at players and their history. But if SGA wins this year, both finals and league MVP, does he win finals MVP?
I would assume, yeah.
Okay.
He would have to.
That'd be a crazy thing if somebody else won. That would actually be wild.
I mean, Jaylen Brown won finals MVP and
Chet Holmgren,
which is kind of funny. I think Side note, and this doesn't have to be a long conversation. Is Jaylen Brown going to be like one of the most forgettable Finals MVP winners of all time?
I already forget about it.
And
sometimes.
this is coming from a Celtics fan. Like the idea of, if you would tell me 10 years from now, do you remember when the Celtics won and Jaylen Brown won MVP? I'd go, wait, Jason Tatum didn't win MVP, which he did lead the team in pretty much every like total statistical category, which is kind of funny that he didn't win MVP, but still.
Whenever I remember that he wins, it's because I remember that Jason Tatum didn't, and I'm pushing some sort of anti-Jason Tatum propaganda. That is literally the only reason I remember.
I love it. I honestly love hearing people's like anti-Jason Tatum like
it's the Boston
campaigns.
Media.
The Boston media.
It's hilarious. I don't know why. I think it's funny. I love Jason Tatum. Don't get me wrong, as a Celtics fan, but I do like it that so many people don't like him for whatever reason. But no, go back to the Thunder thing. If he wins MVP in the finals, which would come along with a conference MVP and a finals MVP, so 3 MVPs of 1 year plus a finals win. First one really in the Thunder's franchise history. Overall franchise, they have one with the Supersonics. But you might as well build the statue right then and there, because this isn't just an MVP season 2. He's having a heck of a year, whether you want to admit it or not. I don't think Dawson wants to agree.
I so badly want to keep my respect for Kevin Durant, but if he ends up winning the title, gosh darn it, it would be super difficult to not have him number 1. And I guess my thought process is how they win. Like, if they win the title, how do they win the title? Mm-hmm. Is it like 2017 Warriors 0-1 Lakers where they just steamroll through the playoffs and they go like 16-1? Mm-hmm. Or is it they're in a game 6 every single series, they're sweating it out, and Shea's just like super clutch? Because I think those are two different things. I think if they end up steamrolling through, I don't know if you give Shea as much flowers versus he is the clutch guy every single game. The ball's going to be in his hands in the last 2 minutes. I probably would agree with Brock, even though I really want to give Kevin Durant his respect. I think if they ended up, assuming the scenario plays out, I think it has to be Shea as the best Thunder player of all time, which is crazy considering he's 26, and we're already having this conversation.
You're gonna kill me. I don't even think Kevin Durant is.
I was gonna say Russ.
I was gonna say I'd still think Russell Westbrook. Dude was loyal as much as possible, and had a season where he. I get that they didn't have the success, but he had a season where he averaged a triple-double. Now, if Kevin Durant was,
it's hard though.
If Kevin Durant was the first time ever unanimous MVP that year that he won it, okay, maybe I can consider that. But like,
I guess, can I give my reason why it's Durant over Westbrook?
Yes.
So Durant came into obviously played 1 year with the Sonics in Seattle, and then they moved the team to OKC. He was the best player on that Thunder team from that season to when he left in 2016. He was the catalyst. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll give Westbrook his flowers. I give Harden his flowers when they were on that team in the early 2010s. But Durant was the focal point. Like, he ended up winning the MVP, was it 2014? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Like, he was the reason. And if they didn't, granted, some of this is his own doing. If they didn't flame out in the conference finals in 2016, we might be having a totally different discussion about Durant being the best Thunder player of all time. But I don't know. I just think with Durant being like the main guy for so many years for the Thunder, I think you got to give him the nod, because him and Westbrook have an MVP, so you can kind of just wash that out. Yes, Westbrook averaged a triple-double. I get that. But I don't know. Durant, I think, is more of a Thunder player, even though Thunder fans don't want to give him his flowers because he left for the Warriors.
One shot, fate of the universe on the line. Martians have the death beam pointed towards Earth. Give me Ibaka.
Give me Andre Roberson.
The real leader of the team, Serge Ibaka.
Are we in agreement though that if SGA does what, because like even if they steamroll, if they lose like one playoff game, I'm assuming SGA is putting up amazing numbers. That's the thing where like I don't know if even that matters.
I think it does a little bit because we all agree that Thunder team is so deep and they have so many like great players on that team. Like there could be different series throughout this playoffs where it's like, oh, the first round, it was Jalen Williams that was the stud. Like he's the reason why they won. Shea had an okay series, but J-Dub. Next one could be like Chet, or it could be one of the other role players. And then I just think because they have such a deep team, I'm almost going to use that against Shea, if that makes sense. Because I think their team is that good.
What if they steamroll and he averages 30?
Then that's a different story.
6 rebounds, 6 assists, like he's been.
Then
doing.
That's a different story. Then he's the undisputed. But if they steamroll and he's at 25 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, I don't know. It's an interesting discussion. I hope we have that discussion in June where we're arguing that. But,
hey, Hunter, did you see LeBron's thing on Pat McAfee show?
I did. I loved it.
He's
so right because he's actually just right. He
but
just
like,
is.
I was like, why is this even who? Honestly, I just saw the clip of his 2 cents on it. I don't know who proposed the question. Dawson, if you haven't seen this, LeBron went on Pat McAfee show, basically said if Giannis played in the 70s, he would have
250 points.
Yeah, 250 points. Why is this even a question?
So what makes me angry, because ESPN's really good at this. ESPN's just really good at making me angry, period. But of course, First Take, the best sports show on the planet, was talking about what LeBron was talking about. And basically, Stephen A didn't like the whole disrespect that LeBron was showing the different eras, even though, you also had like Bob Cousy even like being like, yeah, like we were, Bob Cousy not like diminishing what he did, but was kind of like, it was a very different game then. Like the guys now would have been crazy back then. But
I remember when they invented the crossover, changed the game.
Exactly. But leave it to Mad Dog Russo to be like, oh, Giannis isn't even on the same level as Julius Erving. Like you're actually clickbait. Like this is actually like this is rage bait at its finest. Like I can't believe that you just said those words. I don't know how it's a conversation. That's a great point, Brock. I don't know how it is, but somehow people out there can make it one. And it upsets me.
And you can tell me to stop talking at any point, but I would like to propose the idea that if it was based in the 70s, like just because of how different, obviously nothing in the way. There's a good chance that Giannis doesn't even get discovered, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. No,
that's the only thing.
He'd be left in Nigeria and Greece.
Yes,
which is unfortunate. But
yes, yeah. That's one of the things that's like you're putting this hypothetical thing and then I take it and I go way too far. I'm like, well, he won't even be discovered because it's not even like probably possible. Not many people were coming from overseas to play in the NBA. Because at that time, you could probably make more getting a regular job than playing in the NBA.
Right.
But he's still 6'11", has a 7 foot plus wingspan, whatever it is. He's averaging Wilt numbers. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yep. He's literally a more athletic Wilt and even Wilt just like didn't even care anyway.
Even without
and still was
medicine,
putting up those numbers.
Like Giannis coming into the league was built better than most people in that era still. Yeah. And he was skinny. Like he was a twig.
Yeah.
It was a stupid thing. I don't even know why they're even talking about it. Honestly, I'm still the shows that I watch on ESPN are all the afternoon stuff. I don't even which by the way, the fact that they're getting rid of Around the Horn is like literally one of the like biggest tragedies in ESPN history. But no, I can't watch First Take, and I need to see LeBron and Stephen A box it out in a ring. I just need it. I need it badly. I need it in the worst way. But getting back to things going around the NBA right now, I guess are there any like other major things that you guys wanted to hit on? We could talk about MVP, the MVP candidate or the MVP race right now. I personally, just off of the fact that I know that they have a better team, but you got the team to be the first team to 60 wins. You're averaging 32 points a game, almost averaging 32, 6 and 6 with almost 2 steals and a block. And I do think that people are a little bit tired of giving Jokic the trophy every year. I think that it won't be a question that SGA comes home with the trophy this year and the award. Now, I don't think he'll be unanimous because obviously people are going to still vote for Jokic, but that's my pick right now. Also, I think it's just between those two. I don't know if you guys have anybody else as like a dark horse, but I really don't think there is a dark horse in this situation because it is just a two-legged race or a two-person race. But who do you guys have right now if the season ended today? Which, I mean, the season's ending in a couple weeks. So who do you guys have as MVP?
Giannis is third in odds. Just want to point it out there at plus 50,000.
That was my pick heading into the year. Your guys' pick of Luka didn't last too long.
No, my pick of the Mavs winning the title didn't age too well. Aged like milk.
Yeah. So who do you guys have winning MVP?
I mean, Shea. I'm not going to touch on it too much because we kind of hammered it already, but it's clearly Shea.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think Shea's probably my favorite. I think, like you said, Brock, like people are going to vote Jokic. It's just infuriating to me. And again, it's like Jokic, really good player, phenomenal player. Unfortunately, because we live in a world where the NBA and its fans and appreciators live in a narrative world, if you give Jokic another MVP, you are admitting that he has to be, and maybe he is. Maybe we'll look back now, like maybe we'll be 10 years from now, we'll look back and be like, man, this man's one of the top 5 best players in NBA history. And if he is, then we can give him another MVP maybe next year. But yeah, like you mentioned, just based on, and I would just like, as Dawson also pointed out, I think we are still doing a great disservice as an NBA community, ignoring a man who is once again averaging 30 points on 60% shooting. Yet again, it is baffling to me. But I think, one, we're kind of pushing the, right now, the whole 65 game minimum. The Bucks have, I think, 10 games left, 11 games left after tonight. Giannis is out tonight on Wednesday night versus the Denver Nuggets and is currently at 59 games, which means he would need to play 6 more games in order to meet the bare minimum, which is very possible. But there is a world where he just doesn't even make the cut for it. But I think especially, and again, this is something that we've said on the podcast before, and I can't believe that it has to be repeatedly said over and over again, but there are 2 sides to basketball, and we really have a guy in second place that only plays one side of basketball, and everybody that steps on the court knows it, because that man is not feared whatsoever when it comes to his defense. And I'm sick and tired of people pretending that it doesn't matter. It's ridiculous.
Hey, I am with you, man. Giannis is one of the most disrespected players, I feel like, in the NBA by the media for whatever reason. I don't know if it was him winning his title and he just kind of was a kid, like kid in the best way possible. As in he thought winning the NBA finals was the coolest thing in the world. And he acted like a kid on Christmas, which if I ever won an NBA finals, that's exactly, I'm taking my butt straight to Chick-fil-A and getting 50 chicken minis and, what was it? Lemonade and
half Sprite, half
lemonade.
lemonade.
It's delicious. It's
delicious. It is gas.
Dude, like he has to be one of the most likable guys in the NBA. And he plays both ways. Always a contender for both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Will probably be first team on both all NBA and all defense if he makes the cut, obviously, for games. But man, no one gives him his flowers. I actually forgot that he was averaging 30 this year. And that goes to show how much of a we don't care about Giannis for whatever reason. And if it's he's not like his team's not doing well. Well, then that should be a bigger reason why he should still at least be in the conversation for MVP. Because let's be honest, I think Oklahoma City still makes the playoffs without Shea. Still makes the playoffs. That could be a 1 seed, that could be an 8 seed. or an 8 seed that had to win 2 games to make it to the 8 seed. I think Denver could compete for a play-in spot, or at least compete for a playoff spot without Jokic. I really do. You take Giannis off of Milwaukee. I know Dawson's making a face. You take Giannis off of Milwaukee. Milwaukee's competing for a first overall pick this year. I firmly believe that. Dawson, go ahead. Say what you want to say. I know you don't agree with me.
I am a Jokic hater like the rest of us on this pod. I want to get this preface out there. Okay? I'm glad he's not winning the MVP this year. With that said, this Denver roster, you take away Jokic, stinks. They have no depth whatsoever. You would have Westbrook, Jamal Murray leading your team right there. And to be honest, I don't know if I want that as a Nuggets fan. Them being in the playoffs, oh man.
Again, it could be that play-in team that magically wins 2 games in a row.
Here's my thing. Are the Nuggets without Jokic, are they better than like the Suns currently constructed with everyone healthy? Because the Suns are sitting at the 10th seed.
Well, the Suns are never healthy.
Let's play the crazy hypothetical. When everyone is healthy. Are they better than the Kings?
I'll give you that. The only thing I will say though, take Giannis off of Milwaukee.
No. I agree on that aspect. I think they would be fighting for a top 3 pick.
Even with a healthy Damian Lillard, like those 2 teams matched up, I really do think Denver will still win that matchup. No offense, Hunter.
No, I don't disagree with you there.
I mean, or again, I already mentioned it. Second option, Kyle Kuzma is not a serious team at all. It's just not happening.
Kyle Kuzma, yeah, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs since the bubble, dude.
Like, I really think that if Giannis wasn't on the Bucks team right now, they would be in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Like, Damian Lillard right now, first of all, Damian Lillard would have never been traded to Milwaukee. So imagine the Bucks.
I don't want to. I really don't want to. They would not. I kid you not. They just would not be in Milwaukee. They would actually be in a whole other city. They'd be in a different city. Yeah, it's crazy that we already touched on this multiple, but like Giannis not only just like literally saved a franchise. It's baffling.
And then you got Dallas that's like, hold my beer. We're going to just trade our best player, and then we're going to move to Las Vegas.
Imagine Nico Harrison in Milwaukee. I don't want to.
Giannis gets traded for... Ooh, what's a good one? Giannis gets traded for Joel Embiid, Paul Reed, and a first-round pick.
Nah, I'd be Giannis for Paul George, if anything.
Straight up. Just straight up.
And that's the trade.
Anytime I hear Paul George's name, I think of that Gatorade commercial where it's just ball game, and then it just switches to the pandemic clip where he's hitting the side of the backboard.
Tough. But
yeah.
All that to say, SGA probably the MVP. I don't do it often. Maybe Brock will appreciate this. I think Jason Tatum at 4 is pretty solid. No disrespect to Donovan Mitchell whatsoever.
No, he's been
also very
stinkers.
solid. Also a solid 5, probably right there, based off of success overall and what he's been doing. But I'd say, honestly, this is probably the first time in a while I actually probably agree with a lot of the NBA forecasts for the MVP.
I think Peyton Pritchard should be getting some third place.
Okay,
votes.
Now you lost me. You're taking this too far.
All right, bud.
You're taking this too far. You give him a foot, and Brock will take a mile when it comes to Boston Braves.
Boston media, dude. He's been paying
Boston media.
The Boston media.
It.
Oh man.
Hey, Boston media was right about Drake being good at basketball. Apparently, I told people don't trust the Boston media. Drake is not a good basketball team, and here they are winning the first round game against freaking Missouri.
Here they are.
What did the Boston media say about Colorado State?
That wasn't a travel, and it was a good shot by Maryland.
Amen.
I'm gonna bite my tongue really hard right now.
Good gather step.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it was a travel, man. I really don't.
Here's my take on that. It was a travel. I'm glad they didn't call it. Because the whole internet would have blown up had they called a fucking travel.
Bro,
I know.
you can't be cursing on this pod. You now have done it twice.
I did. That was like 3 months ago. You got your beat button.
Oh, I gotta okay, 41 41 minutes. We made it, and I gotta edit that out. That's great. What's great about it though?
I should have a counter. Days without swearing on the 515.
What's great though is I can't edit the video live stream, so I apologize for all the people that are watching the video live stream. And,
don't scroll back. Don't rewatch it.
No.
Yeah. We sometimes it slips, and sometimes you say the F word for a travel that obviously wasn't a travel, for whatever reason, but it's okay. It's okay. But
my point, I'm glad they didn't call it because it would have it would have ruined the only buzzer beater moment we've had all March Madness.
This is my perspective. If it was called a travel, people say it wasn't a travel. If it wasn't called a travel, everybody's going to say it was a travel.
Yeah. And what's funny is you didn't even see people complain about the travel in the moment. You saw it 5 minutes after the fact on Twitter when someone had a slow-mo clip. It's like, oh, is that a gather step? Is that a third step? And then that's when it blew up.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, apologize again.
On me.
Anything else you guys want to talk on before we head out? Hunter, do you have any wise words of wisdom?
I could share a couple things. I think I'll do my best, but I mean, we kind of already talked about it a little bit, but again, man, just give Giannis his flowers. Just give him a little love tap. A little appreciative text. In other news, a team I don't praise because they're garbage and continually mid, but Kobe White, if you have not watched Bulls basketball, has been cooking, absolutely cooking. I believe in his last 10 games, bro's got to be averaging close to 30, if I'm being honest.
32.
It's crazy. He's doing some wild things. I know I brought it before. I think it'd be really funny if the Bulls just decided to trade him, because why not? Because that would honestly be something the Bulls would do. Just trade their young, promising player, because why not?
Milwaukee.
Yes, Brock. Yes, to Milwaukee.
For Kuzma.
Please and thank. For Kuzma and Bobby Portis. You can have them both. Give me Kobe White.
Kobe White for Brook Lopez.
Oh, that would actually that'd be so funny to see Vucevic and Brook Lopez on the same team. That's
so gross.
That's
so gross.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Side note, I don't know why, but I love watching on YouTube. If I ever need something to put on while I'm doing work or just doing anything, I watch people that do rebuilds on 2K and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys do that. Quarter. What was that?
King of the fourth quarter.
But this one dude, I think his name's Click or something like that.
Yeah.
He did a Charlotte Bobcats rebuild, and I from the 2010 era or whatever. I kid you not, I'm not even joking. 1 year, the Chicago Bulls, Joakim Noah won MVP. I'm not that might be the craziest 2K sim MVP I've ever seen.
He was, if I remember right, he was top 5 in voting 1 year, and he was scoring
less
than 15 points a game.
And he did. That's exactly what happened.
Wild.
It's one of those where it's 2K was yeah, we're gonna just sneak this in right here, and hopefully nobody realizes it.
Let's just try it out and see what happens.
Yeah, that blew my mind when I saw that. Any other final comments before we sign off?
Lastly, an award we weren't able to talk about. But if you don't have Stephon Castle as your rookie of the year right now, get some glasses.
Oh, I thought I saw Bronny jumped up the power ratings after having
Get that out of
high
here.
of 17 points.
Stop it. The Lake Show, yo. All right. Tried posting a clip Bronny almost crossed up Giannis. You posted a turnover, buddy. You're highlighting a turnover. Like you're working against yourself. Like this isn't how this works.
Is Hunter turning against the king's son?
Never.
Stop.
Can't say that.
I need Hunter to turn
my
heel.
glorious honey bun king. You can't do this right now. I'm talking specifically about Lake Show Yo. All right, we can't be posting highlights of somebody turning the ball over. That's not how it works. All right, you post highlights for highlights.
Have you seen the Blink 182 parody of LeBron?
Dude, there's so many.
All the all LeBron things, I think it's called. I'll have to send it to you. It's pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Dawson, any final comments?
I got one little quick comment. I saw this on Twitter, and it kind of got me spinning and like trying to figure out how many. So imagine there's a 16 seed in college basketball. Like, you know how it's the 1-16 matchup in the first round. How many different NBA players could you put on the 16 seed for them to win the title? Like, run the course. How many?
It depends on the player, honestly.
Like, because I was going through the list, I think like 25 different guys could take a team to the Natty. And I think that's on the low end. Because I just think players are that much better
to the
NBA.
Natty.
Like, they have to win the whole thing.
Okay, let me see here.
Like 16 versus 1, and then they got to play the next round to the final 4, and all so and so. But
jeez, I'm just looking at points per game as my way to like look at.
Yeah,
if
that's a good way to do it.
Jaren Jackson would be on that list technically if we're going off of just the top 25. Which, I mean, hey, Anthony Davis single-handedly won Kentucky their national championship.
He did.
And
His
also got
insane.
players like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, a top 5 draft pick. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is one of the like biggest, like weirdest things ever in my life. Where I was oh, this guy could be good, and then I saw his jump shot, and I was like, oh no. But
like,
do you think I could see 25?
Like, do you think like right now, Franz Wagner? Do you think he could carry a 16 seed? Because I think
to
he
a
could.
Title game.
I think Franz could.
I think they could.
Size wise, I think
the taller players have the advantage.
One of those
I don't know if Trae Young could. Like, Trae Young's great. But, like, his passing is spectacular. If you're in a 16 seed, though, passing the ball to somebody, it's very different compared to passing it to, like, Dyson Daniels.
I could see, honestly, probably over half the league, if we're being honest.
Half the league?
Half the league starters.
Players?
Oh,
starters. Okay.
Sorry, I should have said starters.
I was going to say, you think 200
Jordan Walsh is not leading a UMBC team to the Natty. Sorry. I should have said that.
What about Jordan Poole?
I mean, he almost.
I mean, he hit that crazy shot against
close.
What was it? Texas Tech.
Every time I just see him go on, I just see him running. He looks completely different too.
Yeah,
like cut that hair. I don't know. Like that would be another thing. Like James Harden, he's a
Harden could absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah,
I think
the centers.
He dropped like what? Didn't he drop 50 on Malik?
I think the centers have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched Zach Edey almost do it.
Yeah,
as much crap as we give him, imagine a big Jokic as a 16 seed.
Dude, something. I thought like Albert Şengün, dude. He would cook with the 16 seed.
I mean, that's what Julius I think there'd be a lot more people than people realize that could probably do this.
Yeah.
Colin Sexton would go crazy.
Give me my boy Scotty Barnes.
Just give him the ball.
3-on-5, dude.
Give me my boy Scotty Barnes.
Scotty would go crazy.
I think he'd make some moments.
Moments is the right word.
You guys are mean.
Zubac! Zubac! Give me Zubac right now. He is actually cooking everybody.
Now I kind of want to see how far down the list I could find someone on the points per game
that you think could like carry.
Yeah, that could carry.
Like,
do you think D'Angelo Russell could?
I think he could, low key.
Westbrook is. Westbrook is single-handedly carrying. I don't care how old he is.
He just was.
He is the team.
He's a tough one for me because like he's not a great shooter, and he's a smaller player. But yeah, he would probably will his team to a natty.
It is also a shorter 3-point line.
Give me George Niang. I'm kidding.
Dude, stop.
I think the worst player that could do it is probably a guy like
Nick Claxton.
no Claxton's
Drew Holiday?
Good. Maybe a Drew Holiday from 4 years ago.
Okay.
I don't know if Drew Holiday right now. Like Derek White would easily carry a 16 seed versus one. Like that's not even a question. But
yeah, I don't. This is great. I saw that too. I didn't really think about it. I was just like, I would think it'd be more people than people would realize, though.
Oh yeah.
But again, it would depend on like their skill set. Yeah, give me Kobe White. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
Kobe White.
Yeah. That's it for this week for the Hardwood Convos. We might be back next week or the week after, but the playoffs are coming up, so we'll definitely have our playoff prediction show at some point. As well as recap any big news in the NBA. But for Dawson Livingston and Hunter Rose, I'm Brock Bierman. Thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching or listening. Give us a like, follow, share, whatever you can do to help support us. Like I said last week when we did our NCAA tournament preview with Chase on the 515 Sports Pod, we basically lose money doing this. It's just for fun. We like talking hoops or whatever sport it may be. If you haven't watched the 515 Sports Podcast, we previewed the Sweet 16 matchups and gave our predictions in the Final Four, as well as the sports nerds. I know Dawson and Brayden are going to be talking some shop on that episode for this week, and they actually were uploaded before this one, so it's already out if you're wanting to listen to that. So for Hunter Rose and Dawson Livingston, I'm Brock Bierman. We are the Hardwood Convos crew, and we will see you all next week.